Hi, I'm Jessie Ahmet, your host of Valley News Now, and I have with me today the beautiful, the talented, the wonderful Melanie Iverson,
Thank you,
who has just launched her new brand, Melanie Michelle Company, or
Yes.
do you just say Co?
I just say co.
Co.
It's too many words.
Yeah, you're kind of cooler than me, so Melanie Michelle Co. and Empower Consulting. This is really exciting. I love
Thank
the
you.
very first thing on your website. I help people build confidence, courage, and community.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
okay, so what is Melanie Michelle Co?
Well, I'll just tell you a little bit about why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a fact junkie, and so I
Yes.
spend a decent amount of time researching. And McKinsey & Company in this last year has partnered with leanin.org.
Oh, cool.
And what they realized in 2022 is that the state of women in the workplace is pretty concerning still,
Okay.
post-pandemic. Women continue to switch jobs at the highest rate that they've ever seen.
Wow.
And there's some interesting facts, I think, behind why women are doing that.
Okay.
So one of those reasons is because one of the things that was reported was that 75% of female executives are still experiencing imposter syndrome. And that's that constant second guessing, really trying to decide if we're qualified, if we're
Right.
in the right place, if I
Right.
know what I'm doing. And that fear, regardless of my background and what I've already succeeded at, that fear that I'm somehow going to be found out as a fraud.
Right. Yeah.
So there's
It's basically
yeah.
insecurity. You mentioned that earlier, and I thought, yeah, that's exactly.
That's basically what it
Yep,
is. Yes,
yep.
is that deep identity insecurity
Yeah.
of knowing that I belong where I say I belong,
Yeah.
right? The second issue regarding women and confidence in the workplace really has to do with what women are applying for with their jobs.
Okay.
The studies right now are saying that women will apply for a job if she's 90 to 100% qualified for that job.
Okay.
Whereas historically, men will apply for jobs if they're about 40 to 60% qualified.
They're like, yeah, I can probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably got that.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah.
And this isn't a man versus woman sort of
No,
thing.
it's just interesting.
It's
Yeah.
interesting, and really what it is, I think at the core of it, it's that concern of identity and insecurity. And additionally, it's that perfectionism. I think more
Yes.
women lean into perfectionism, whereas men are like, well, figure it out.
Right. And the more we do that, I know both of us in our own
Yeah.
lives, the more we've done that, it's like, for one thing, you discover you can do a lot of those
Yeah.
things that
Yeah.
maybe you didn't know you had that talent in you, but we know how to work hard and we know
Right.
how to learn, and
Right.
that's really all it takes.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. But getting women to believe that,
Yes.
it's like that head to heart
Yep.
experience.
Yep.
The third statistic, though, I thought was interesting was that 89% of women this last year documented that they're not confident in their network, in the community that they've surrounded themselves with.
Yeah.
And so that was really what I wanted to address those things. And
Yeah.
so that's why I founded Melanie Michelle Co. and Empower Consulting. I wanted to empower women to grow in confidence, courage, and community.
I love it.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you. I'm really excited about it.
You know, and you've done a lot of, you've been an entrepreneur, you've done a
Yeah.
lot of different things with that. It's always been your core is
Yeah.
empowering women
Yes.
in those areas. And so it's really fun to see you take
Yeah.
this another new adventure.
Yes.
Because the gal that was on before too, we were talking about how, and she doesn't know you, and she's
Yeah.
like, she is just radiating
wow.
this
That's
because
really
that's
great.
you're really just living in exactly where you need to be. And I love another thing about you that you always seem to do is you see this need and then figure out how, okay, so there's this gap, right, for
Yep.
women. How do
Yep.
we fill that gap? How do we bring those two things to meet each other? And that's
Right.
what Melanie Michelle Co. is all about, and Empower Consulting.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So now what I'm offering is I'm going to pull this.
Yeah, here, I'll switch our
Sure,
screen
okay.
for us real quick. All right. Sometimes when the mouse is across all three screens, it just
Sure.
doesn't want to behave itself. All right, here we go. There you go.
Yeah, so if you were to go to Melanie Michelle Co., you're going to see my laughing face because the reality is that some of these topics can be really hard, but the truth is that there's a lot of joy in discovering who you are and who
Yes.
you are meant to be, and that's really what I want to bring to the table. What I've been looking at doing is coaching. I'm doing one-on-one business coaching for a more private experience. You know, if
Yep.
someone wanted to go here, they could take a look at that, and just it's not therapy. It's kind of checking under the hood. Where are you
Yeah.
at? Where's your mindset at? What should we take a look at? Additionally, I've created with Empower Consulting. I've joined forces with the You Flourish company, really looking at the Resilience Multiplier. That's a 6-week program that we'll be launching this September. I've created my own
I need
curriculum.
to do that.
Yes, you should. Yeah, and then the other curriculums that I've written and that I'm working on is mastering your mindset, building confidence, and really growing in tenacious grit.
Love that.
The grit one is going to be released in 2024. So that one's not quite ready yet. But and additionally, I've been really excited to get to share more of my experience and do corporate events, experiences for businesses who really realize that they want to invest in their women.
Yep.
They want to to take that time and to say we want to retain this talent and want to continue to invest in the people that are making our companies successful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is really incredible, and you've got all of these things here. Your philanthropy too. It just is another. Oh, this was amazing banquet. The She Overcomes. Yes, and she'll sing for you too if you ask. You don't even have to ask. You can probably just play the music,
right?
And I think you'll just show up.
It's true. My specialty is 90s rap. If anyone's interested, I'm your girl.
There you go. A woman of many, many talents. But it is so incredible, and I just love to see what you're doing. I happened to stop by your Mosaic district the other day, and I was like, I'm going to go say hi. And she's delving way in depth with your one-on-one consulting. Yeah. So I did still interrupt and say hi, but normal people won't do that.
No, the client was very happy to see you. And she loved your dress.
It was all very sweet. So what else do you want to talk about? I feel like, we were hitting kind of the Empower Consulting. I love you're always a stats person, which I like the legitimacy of that you're like, this is actually a need. It's not just something I feel, but I guess also it is something you feel in the community. You felt that as a woman. And then we have had just a really great friendship and a great community of women around us that have offered that support. And I think once you've had that feeling, you want everyone to have that feeling.
Absolutely.
And that's, again, exactly what you're doing.
Yes,
so
yeah.
It's so cool.
Well, and I think too, and we had talked a little bit, I was so honored to be a part of the Chamber Women's Connect event in July and we had talked about it, the title was Doing It Scared. There have been so many times in my life where I haven't known necessarily what I was doing. I knew where I was going, kind of, but my job description was basically to figure it out. And as a recovering perfectionist, I had to take a lot of time to do things ugly, to do it and fail, pick myself back up and say, okay, what did I learn from that and how can I try again? And that's not always pretty.
It's not.
It's not.
No. That's kind of been the case too. To any of you that have been following along in this Little Valley News Now endeavor has been the same way. And it's like, it's going to look ugly sometimes because we're figuring it out. But if you allow yourself to be in that vulnerable position, really amazing things can happen.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you need just, a Melanie and Michelle Co. Empower Consulting person to help you get through that, which is really great. You talked about the chamber event, Doing It Scared, and so before we go there, I'm going to leave you guys with is it the entirety of, or just a snippet?
No, it's just it's a recap. It's just under 10 minutes. It's about a 10-minute recap.
Nice.
You had to be there.
Next time we will be there for sure.
Yeah. But it shows a little bit more of my heart, and in this talk, I was really vulnerable, and I shared some very tender moments of my life that really brought me to this place of doing it scared. And so this isn't just some sort of idea that I Googled. It's like, this is my life. This is actually my life's work of showing up over and over again, stepping into that.
You fall a lot when you show up scared, and when you do jobs that you're only 40% qualified for. you learn, but it's really the most beautiful thing is pick yourself back up, like you said. What did I learn? So we'll leave you with that at the end, and you can watch that, like you said, just under 10 minutes and a great recap. I'm excited to see it too. And then let's do your website one more time.
Sure. So if anyone's interested in doing a call, I think I did this. Sorry, isn't this funny? I'm pretty sure you can contact me on the contact page.
Nice.
You know, if you're ready to grow in your confidence, to reset, build courage for yourself, grow in your community, you can go ahead and submit a contact information, you know, one of those sheets there. Or else if you want to book a 15-minute discovery call, I'd be happy to just chat and figure out, you know, maybe what program is best for you. I know that I had mentioned before, we'll be doing the Resilience Multiplier on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting in September.
Awesome.
And then we'll be doing the Building Confidence Deep Dive. It'll be a 3-day intensive.
Ooh.
I'm looking at October.
Okay.
So, you know, just, you can go ahead and go to the website,
and
read
these are
through
things
it,
too.
and just contact here for more information.
These are things too that I think we forget to talk about, that your employer may be interested in sponsoring you to do. And I, you know, that was something I was unfamiliar with. But you know, as you grow up and learn things, and you have friends in community to tell you, hey, your work might pay for that. That is something that they are generally very very interested in, because they want to keep you too. You know, they want to keep their talent. They want to invest in their talent. And if they don't, it might be the wrong place.
Well, and you know, I know some folks too they'll do half and half, and they'll say, I really want to do this.
Cool.
Here's why. Here's, you know, growing.
Here's what I think I'll get out of this, how it benefits you as a company.
Absolutely. And what employer isn't going to want their employees to show up, work hard, live in confidence? I mean, most people want that for their employees. And so it's a great opportunity. And it's a great way to support our community. Really.
It is. To invest in the people and your workplace and all of that. Well, thank you so much. I am going to leave them with that video, but I'll say bye first. So again, Melanie Iverson, brand new brand, Melanie Michelle Co. and Empower Consulting. I'm so excited to see all the women that connect with you, and you know, just how that ripple effect will take in our community. So,
Thank you.
So exciting.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we're going to leave you with Doing It Scared. Welcome. I feel like I should, like, you want to kind of say this to your daughter, like, welcome to life, honey.
Your pain and your past and your life, those places that have wounded you, are not your fault.
Do you know what does help, Melanie? If I click it over here. There. All right. All right, we're going to try this again. Again, sometimes you got to go through the ugly.
That's all right.
It's all right. Okay, here we go.
Listen, your pain and your past and your life, those places that have wounded you, are not your fault. But your healing is your responsibility. You can do this. There's a point sometimes where you just actually have to let people see who you really are. And the reason you need to do that is because if people only love you when you're presenting your best self, what happens when your life falls apart is you question their love because they've never seen you authentically in your mess. Unconditional love is only unconditional if people have been allowed to see the wobbly bits, metaphorically. What I can say is this: if you find your breakthrough, you have to maintain it. Because while I can get on a stage today, what I can tell you is 3 years ago, I tried out for a talk and sobbed the whole time. I did not maintain my breakthrough. So it's not only our responsibility to engage, to take another look, to adjust the lens, it's also our responsibility to continue to maintain our breakthrough, because if you're not going forward, you're just going backward. So this is my little brother, Rian. He's like 6'5". Now he's much older. What happened in between 3 and about 30-ish, 33-ish, I think, was I got married, I had Carter, I had Grace. We were super stoked about that. After the fact, they were also both whoopsie babies that I didn't plan. But what happened was we actually went through, in 1 year, I discovered that my husband at the time had been unfaithful. And the circumstances surrounding the infidelity was very hard for me to accept. In that same year, we also happened to be going through the adoption process. And we kept trucking along. And within 9 months, we had been matched with the mom. We lost the baby. She changed her mind. It was a big to-do. I was devastated. We were immediately matched again with another mom who chose us. We did the same thing. We flew to the place, went to pick up our new baby, took the pictures, named the baby, and then that mom changed her mind. And something happened to me in that time was that I got really angry. I got really angry and started to feel indignant about my life. I was looking back and saying, I did this right, and I did this right, and I got the degree, and we got the house, and blah, blah, blah. And what happened was my life started to slowly dismantle. It didn't happen like a pow and it was broken. It happened over decisions made over the course of the next number of months. And within about a year of that, we split. My husband and I split. I moved in with my one of my little siblings. And on this particular night, it was the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, someone followed me home. And he punched me in the face 5 times, breaking my nose, causing pretty severe concussion. And it was this little brother and one of my sisters that found me. For the next year, I lived a very dissociated life. It was very incongruent with my morals. It was incongruent with my values. And I continued to self-medicate with pharmaceuticals that were prescribed to me and a lot of wine. I drank a lot because I really honestly didn't know how to function given my circumstances. About a year after this, I finally started kind of coming back up for air. The man was never prosecuted because of some technicalities, and just in case you're wondering, he still probably is around here. That's not encouraging, I'm sorry. But it was the truth, and it was really frustrating, is what I'm going to tell you, which is why I'm very passionate about justice and social justice. I decided if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to go all in. And so I spent the next year doing my work life absolutely terrified. It was so bad. And here's the thing, I did it ugly. I was not pretty ever when I was doing this job, because as my internal healing process was doing this, I would like get 2 steps forward, and then it was almost like it was too much, and I would deconstruct a little, I would come back, and then I would go back to living an incongruent lifestyle based on my morals and beliefs. And so it was 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, talking on a stage, trying not to throw up. I mean, my whole life was just, it was this, I'm gonna do this thing scared. Once I went to Mississippi, and then I went into the Colorado mountains, and every time I would go, it was like just like a little bit more of like overcoming that fear. Ironically, many times I would leave early. I'd be like, I'm staying for 3 days, I'm so BA. And then I'd be like, well, actually it's 2.5 and that's enough, I gotta go. Because I was just so scared. But each one of those little things became a yes. Each time I stepped on a stage and did it ugly and cried when I was done, it became one more time that I flexed that muscle and said, yes, I can. Yes, I can do this thing. Each time I went camping, it was one more night of tenting all by myself, having nightmares, crying, saying, I'm not scared. And what ended up happening is it built this muscle. It built this thing in me to where saying yes to the things that I was afraid of became a little bit easier and easier. Around this time, I had been invited by someone who said, would you come to the Middle East? I'm a single mom. Why would I go to a war zone? Like, I can't do that. And then finally, something quickened in my spirit on a Sunday morning, and I was like, fine, I'll do it. Let's go. And so I had this opportunity to go to Jordan. And during that time, I met this woman up there kind of in the center. Charmaine is her name. And she at the time, she was a woman who's a single mom who had started an international humanitarian aid organization that supported women and children in war-torn areas. And the women that she was working with at the time, who were my age, were being sold for about $72. So depending on if you had your teeth, if you had kids, what your facial structure looked like, what was happening was the traffickers were taking pictures, posting them on WhatsApp, and then they were bartering. Because when you're in war and you don't have money, the cheapest thing you can give to people is people. And I started to see, it was like the lens that I had, I was making this transition from victim, child, abandoned, abused, and something was happening where I started to see myself differently, where I started to say, hey, I can help, we can support, we can step into this. And something shifted in my spirit and in my person, where this transition that other people had seen for quite some time, and I was apparently the last to the party because I didn't see it. What happened after this was Charmaine invited me to Erbil, Iraq. And at that time, ISIS was still in control. We had the opportunity with Charmaine to go into this community the size of Fargo that evacuated in about 3 hours, thinking they were going to be back in their community, back in their beds with their nice sheets and pillowcases, and they were going to be able to come back. And these families left and didn't come back for 3 years. What I found out shortly after we came back, over the course of that summer, what happened was those people who returned, who received the small business grants that Charmaine's organization was supporting them with, something happened. Hope was reignited. Now we say it. I am stronger than I think I am. One more time. I am stronger than I think I am. One last time with your eyes open. I am stronger than I think I am.
What's the best breakfast food for my metabolism?
Okay, I finally found what boosts my metabolism, and it's not crazy